Heavy snowfalls hit Russia's capital Moscow on Monday after record high temperatures in the first week of April reached over 16 degrees Celsius. According to Associated Press, greenery began to sprout in the gardens and the first buds appeared on the trees just days ago. Now everything is covered with a thick layer of snow brought by Cyclone Zion over the weekend. Road services are actively working to clear the snow, but the situation remains dangerous for drivers due to icy roads. A truck crashed into an underground entrance of a metro station apparently after it skidded on the snowy highway. The driver and the passenger were hospitalized. Meteorologists say that intense snowfall and low temperatures will remain in Moscow and the region for a week, with snowdrifts reaching up to 18 centimeters.
И вот подгонка и чеснок молодой, который здесь ботинки годится. И здесь бедненькая, вот несчастненькая зеленушка, да, она только-только вылезла и, собственно говоря, тут же ее снегом укрыло. Она, видите, собирает на себя какую большую снежную шапку. Опять вот эта вот одеялка, да, получается. И вот она внизу, под вот этими листьями сухими, старыми, как раз вот молодая вот эта вот клубничная поросль.
К непогоде мы были готовы заранее. Сейчас у нас, в принципе, работы в стадии завершения. Соответственно, при усилении снегопада дополнительно выйдем, зачистим дороги и пешеходные зоны.
Здесь вот прям хорошо. Здесь тень.
Высота сугробов будет очень такая внушительная, до 15-18 сантиметров. Ночные температуры в течение всех суток недели будут отрицательные, от -2 до -7. Дневные температуры, максимальные значения в спальных районах Москвы будут около 0, -1, +1.
Crowds of people angry about the way U.S. President Donald Trump is running the country marched and rallied in scores of American cities on Saturday, in the biggest day of demonstrations yet by an opposition movement trying to regain its momentum after the shock of the Republicans' first weeks in office. According to Associated Press in Los Angeles, huge crowds marched from Pershing Square to City Hall. Protesters assailed Trump and billionaire Elon Musk's actions on government downsizing, the economy, immigration and human rights. So-called hands-off. Demonstrations were organized for more than 1,200 locations in all 50 states by more than 150 groups, including civil rights organizations, labor unions, LGBTQ+ advocates, veterans and elections activists. The rallies appeared peaceful, with no immediate reports of arrests.
Relations between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov have deteriorated significantly in recent months, potentially leading to a new conflict in the North Caucasus. According to the Polish news agency PAP, Polska Agencja Prasowa, the main reason for the worsening of ties between Moscow and Grozny was information obtained by the Russian FSB that Kadyrov was increasingly negotiating with representatives of Middle Eastern countries about the future of his assets and the safety of his family members without the Kremlin's consent. The media has been reporting that Kadyrov has been seriously ill for a long time. Last year, the independent Russian website Novaya Gazeta Europe reported that he had serious problems with his kidneys and pancreas. In recent months, Kadyrov has been increasingly absent from public life. The Chechen leader, who has 12 children, knows what awaits his family members after his death. He does not believe in the promises made by the federal center and the reliability of security guarantees. Therefore, the 48-year-old Kadyrov has to look for guarantees for his family members in the Middle East. The Chechen leader has friendly relations with the leaders of these countries. Although Kadyrov tried to hide his negotiations from the Kremlin, the FSB found out about it and informed Putin. Kadyrov's behavior has angered the Russian leadership. In addition, the disagreements between Grozny and the Kremlin also weakened the position of Kadyrov's close ally, Russian State Duma deputy Adam Delimkhanov. Since the start of 2025, Delimkhanov has categorically refused to participate in any clarification of relations by various means of force, no matter what the amount is. Delimkhanov tells those who turn to him that there is an order from above that Chechen leaders and the leaders of the power structures should not get involved in such matters and should generally be less visible, the publication Vazny Istorii reported. Thus, the political conflict between the Kremlin and the Chechen leader is rapidly growing. According to analysts, if the agreements with the Chechen clan are violated, Russia may face a third Chechen war. Russian analyst Anatoly Nesmian believes that peace in the region was built on the basis of an agreement with one of the parties to the internal Chechen conflict. If this agreement is violated by Ramzan Kadyrov and his clan, new tensions in Chechnya are inevitable. Nesmian believes that in this case, the situation will very quickly go beyond a local conflict and turn into a clear anti-colonial war. In his opinion, the relations between Chechnya and Russia are a colonial model, dependent on a loyal local administration. Kadyrov was given immense privileges in exchange for his loyalty to the Kremlin. And now, if this model disappears, or Kadyrov loses Moscow's support, a power vacuum will arise in Chechnya, which will inevitably lead to an attempt to legitimize himself through a struggle with the federal center. If the current agreement between the Kremlin and Grozny fails, the new stage of the conflict will not simply repeat the previous two Chechen wars. It will already have the character of a civil war and will affect not only Chechnya but also other republics of the North Caucasus, where similar feelings have long been rife. At a time when the state's resources are depleted and trust in the center is declining, Russia is facing the risk of entering a new large-scale internal war, writes the Ukrainian portal Dialogue UA.